Can I just say, I'm happy that the Decemberists are finally back. Can somebody just say that? For Colin Malloy, because I think that they've been getting so much crap that you forget that these guys were gone for 5 years. Don't scare them away, they may not come back. Would you like it if the Decemberists didn't come back, people? Haters? Because there's not many other bands like them. But in any case, they made an album to look like a quilt, to get you ready for the utter sadness that is coming on this album. So just wrap yourself up in this and prepare for the sadness of what's about to come. Already? We braced ourselves for this, because if you haven't figured it out by now, these December songs that are fun to dance to are extremely depressing. So brace yourself. It's emo time. Let's do some real quick history on the Decemberists, because, really, why not, right? There's no other reason. Alright, so the Decemberists. They're, of course, an indie folk band from Portland, Oregon that consists of lead vocals and mostly guitar, songwriting, band leading, everything. Colin Malloy. After that, you get Chris Funk of guitar, multi-instrumentals, Jenny Conley on keyboards, piano, organ, accordion, lots of things. Nate Query on bass, and John Moan on drums. Of course, they debuted around 2001 with 5 songs. It was their first full length, came a little bit later than that, but let's get to some early starting. The group's range from upbeat pop to instrumentals, lush ballads is actually kind of interesting, because these are one of the most epic bands when it comes to progression of folk music. It's almost prog folk. There isn't a prog folk, but they are prog folk, really. That is a thing because they made it. They formed in 2000 when Colin Moya left his band Tarkio in Montana and moved to Portland, Oregon, where he met Nate Query, who introduced them to Jenny Conley. They played together in a band called Collabo. The three started silent film together. They scored it. And they played a solo show prior to meeting Query and Chris Funk, and Funk sent a fan, Tarkio, and played Steel Pedal for the first 2 Decemberist releases, not officially becoming a member until the third effort. The band's first drummer, Ezra Hudbook, originally replacing Rachel Bloomberg after Castaways and Cutouts. The band's name refers to the Decemberist revolt of 1825 in Imperial Russia. Malloy views that as an attempted communist revolution. Of course he does, because this is Colin Malloy, and no band name would ever be better than an historical uprising, because that's what he does. I would not have been surprised if he had written a song about it to start the band. The members of this band have played for several hours in the McNimians Hotel the night before to raise money to go in the studio the next day. This originally served as the demo for 5 songs. That's just insane. After their first record was released, Cutaways and Cutouts, on Hush Records, the group moved into Kill Rock Stars recording label after the release. Her Majesty the Decemberist was released in 2003. In 2004, the band released The Tain. I love The Tain. The Tain's so good. It's an 18.5-minute single track on the Irish mythological epic Tain Bo Callui. The band's final album with Kill Rock Stars was Picturesque, which was recorded in a former church. In 2005, the band was distributed music video via BitTorrent, which was self-produced, 16 military wides. In the same month, the band's equipment was stolen. A fan contributed to a replacement fund that was organized via eBay with an auction, with buyers bidding for copies of Colin Malloy Sings Morrissey, an original artwork by Kirsten Ellis. The band also received help from lots of famous musicians in the area. The Chins, the Dandy Warhols, and the Martin Company actually helped him as well. In April, police discovered the trailer and a portion of the band's merchandise in Oregon, but the instruments and equipment were not recovered. In 2005, Malloy revealed to Pitchfork Media that he had signed on to Capitol Records to begin working with producers Tucker Main and Chris Walla of Death Cab in 2006, and they made The Crane Wife. Oh, The Crane Wife. It was released in 2006, and they went on to a huge success following this. Went on Conan, supporting tour, worldwide recognition, and PR called The Crane Wife their favorite album of 2006. And that was when they were really born to the world. They went on Colbert Report. They've been on the Colbert Report since then, but this one was counterfeit. The band countered that its 2005 onstage lightsaber fight in San Francisco preceded Colbert's idea. The feud, of course, culminated in a December 20th guitar solo competition on Colbert's show. So there's some stuff here. In 2007, the band went on to complete a 5-date tour with a full orchestral accompaniment. and they ended up playing with the Hollywood Bowl, the Philharmonic. That's just awesome. There's so much more here. There really is. I mean, this is a band that's done so much. Hazards of Love was the next big thing, and Hazards of Love was 2009. Following that, we get to The King is Dead in 2011, and here we go. After a hiatus, we come back to What a Terrible World. What a Beautiful World. Let's do some album reviewing. I gotta write up for this one. This one's a complicated process to review the Decemberists because, well, when you're reviewing the Decemberists, you gotta expect huge skyward epics. But, you know, that's not the case here. Decemberists are back, and if you're hoping for that, there are no epics like The Crane Wife or Hazards of Love. This album takes off where the last one left off. Again, it's going to divide the fan base because that's what people like, is those huge epics. The King is Dead was their most easily acceptable and best-selling record of all time. It was also their poppiest and most melodic. Yeah, easy on the ears. They don't like to do that usually. They had some help in the writing process from Peter Buck of REM, and this album still has that feel, this more melodic, hook-filled feel to it, and I think that the lack of time constraint and pressure on this album played a big role. It's less cohesive, it's not a concept album, it's just the music for itself, speaking as music, not a concept, not a just dark industrially revolution, not a horrible murder story, you know, the fun things. So let's go through this. This is going to be the depression counter, starting at the top. Depression level 1 through 10. The singer addresses his audience. The opener is Colin's way of telling fans how much he means to them by literally addressing them directly. We know we belong to you. We know you built your life around us. We would change. We had to change some. They pretty much tell you everything you need to know. That they needed to take some time away from writing epics so that they could enjoy writing music again, you know? They gotta enjoy it too. This song itself is this beautiful introduction with slow guitar strumming that just builds and builds to an epic conclusion. Spot on, Decemberists. Cavalry Captain starts with a melodious, upbeat hook. It catches you right from the start. It's a really catchy background synth that provides this backbone of the song. It's giant indie folk hooks. It's great. Philomena begins with piano before going into guitar work on Colin's classic folk-style vocals. The song's lyrics are very personal, talking about growing up and wanting what every 12-year-old boy wants, to see a naked woman. All I wanted in the world was to see a naked girl, but I found it quickly bored, and I wanted more. It sounds like a mix between classic folk and like 50s doo-wop, kind of. I don't know. I like that one a lot. Make You Better is the lead single. It starts with an electric guitar, and then Colin comes in. It's simply just transforms into a huge, infectious chorus song, with the biggest chorus on the album, maybe a period from them. I love this song, I do. It's my personal favorite on the album, and it's a huge, like, the epic sing-along from the Decemberists. It's one of the biggest sing-alongs they've ever written. It's definitely arena-ready. They want to headline things now. Lake's song begins with an acoustic guitar and Colin singing just like many others. This one is much slower, though. It's another chapter in the sad songs of the Decemberists. So, knock it up. We got one, gotta get ready. The Sad Decemberists. It's actually less sad than you'd expect. It's more just about romance and remembering it. I mean, it's talking about the sad breakup, but it's more fondly looking back on it. So, I mean, we can put the counter back down for now. We're good. We're good for a bit. It's not as sad, though. It's just kind of self-pity, Robert Frost style. The next one is Till the Water Is All Gone. And this is a two-part song before, it kind of continues itself here from the next one. It's another sad look back at romance of the past. It's got sensual guitar work in the back with Colin's sensitive vocals. It makes a beautiful Decemberist ballad. That's about it. The Wrong Year is another very chorus-heavy melodic song, and it's insanely catchy. You just can't get it out of your head, especially the guitar line. Just try. Listen to it and try to get that out of your head. It's a highlight, and it's awesome. Carolina Low is a much more classically folk song. It's the kind of song that could be heard in like a western as the hero rides into town on a horse. It's everything in a classic folk sense of the word, and it's great. I love it. Better Not Wake the Baby is a start of the three-part classic Decemberist folk, oldies folk. Like, it's one of those folk like campfire song trilogies. Starting here with this one, Better Not Wake the Baby. It's a classic like sea shanty with rock guitar thrown in. It's a little fun bit that just fits the Decemberists perfectly. The next one, the Anti-Summer Song, is much more old school folk than sea shanty. I heard it from them you know, a long time ago on the earlier stuff, but this is great. They could definitely sing these kind of repetitive songs with these chorus repeat, same tune again, chorus repeat, same tune again stuff. I could hear them do that all day, and they do it well. After that, we go to the third one, Easy Come, Easy Go, and this is the last of the three classic folk songs. And this one's a little bit like a dirty lumberjack song. Honestly, it's just got a little bit more twang than the other ones, but it's still a really fun song. Minstrel is the kind of bad luck thing you hear about in a country song. It's a folk song about crashing cars, getting lost, and babies. You know, all the good stuff. Still not depressed yet. Our counter's still at 0, maybe 1. Keeping it up. We made it through the Decemberists, almost the entire Decemberists album, without a single super depressing song, and just kidding. This one's about the Newton, Connecticut shootings, and put the Decemberist depression counter all the way to 10. We have officially written about kid shootings. Right? Colin Millay, everyone. Okay, so this song is exactly as it is. The title is about when the shootings happened in Connecticut. It's just talking about what humans are capable of in general. That's the title of the album. It's the title of existence, you know. It's about the shooting and how people are capable of wonderful and terrible things. What a terrible world, what a beautiful world, you know. It's simple, but it definitely fits and it's powerful. It's one of the highlights of the album for sure. If you don't think this is, then you don't know the Decemberists. The beginning song is a beginning of a new cycle, but it's also the perfect end. It's like we're just starting up again, and it ends where it started. It starts with a simple guitar part and Colin's vocals, and it's a simple chorus that builds to a big end. Exactly like the start. I'm sorry, people, but the Decemberists have changed. And for those of you who can get past that, you'll find an album full of rich alt-rock folk music. Again, it is a less cohesive album, but each individual song has a place here, and it's a good song. These songs are to me as a band enjoying playing music again. And maybe the large concept albums were more fun for the fans. I personally think they were. But maybe they weren't more fun for the band. Maybe they were harder. Maybe they needed a time away from that before they could jump back into the next one. I would rather have them happy to play music again than not hear it all. Keep that in mind. So enjoy the tunes and stop whining. 4 out of 5 stars. I would recommend Make You Better, The Wrong Year, Carolina Low, and you have to hear 12, 17, 12. Whether you don't want to be depressed or not, you gotta hear it. Alright, thanks. That's all.